This video is going to be about actually writing some code as we go rather than just running through the basics file. So at the end of the basics file, I kind of created this little task to take a new or make a new data frame from the airport's data frame and have it only show airports above 5,000 altitude sorted from highest to lowest and store it in a new object high underscore airports. So I just wanted to make this video to kind of show what it would look like if I was actually doing this, trying to do this. So if I make a typo or whatever, please be forgiving. First thing at first is I want to think about what I need to do, which in this case is make a new data frame from the airports that only shows airports above 5,000 and then sort it. So only airports above 5,000, that sounds like I'm only choosing certain observations from my data frame, those that have altitude above 5,000. So that means it's going to be the filter function. So I'm going to start off by creating a new object, high airports. And I'll do my little alt minus to get the arrow to appear. I could also just type it, but that's not as cool. So then I'm going to use the filter function on the airports. See, R is popping up that little thing up there. That's to help me remember what the argument looks like. And this is filter, data, so my data, airports. And then I'm going to say, oh, what is my column name? What is the airport altitude column name called? I forgot, so I'm going to actually look up real quick what all the column names are. Okay, column names airport. Alt, that's probably altitude. That seems right. So now I can go back here and put alt here greater than 5,000. So I had to look up what the column name for altitude was because I need to type it in exactly as is between the quotes, otherwise R will get confused. So let's run that and see what happens. We created a new object here. So I could check it in two ways. I could do nrow high, and then R is going to fill it in for me because it kind of knows. So nrow high airports, which is 67. But perhaps the easier way is to just look in your Rstudio environment for 67 observations. You can see that's pretty good. Let's actually click on it and make sure that we did it right. So let's just sort of scan the altitude column. And yeah, it doesn't look like anything in there is below 5,000, so that seems to have worked, which is great. Maybe I don't want these, so I can just get rid of those. Next thing I need to do is I need to sort from highest to lowest altitude. So let's look back at our range function, because a range is, well, that's what it means, right? The functions are named pretty intuitively. So I'm going to arrange airports, and I arranged it by latitude. So it's starting from lowest to highest. Well, we don't actually want it to go from lowest to highest. We want it to go from highest to lowest. So we need to add the additional descending latitude. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a second line of code, and I'm still going to store it in high objects, and then I'm going to arrange this new one. That's not how that goes. Arrange, and then I'm going to actually take the already filtered object, high airports, and then I'm going to add descending alt as the arrange function. So it's being arranged, high airports is being arranged in descending altitude. Now one thing you'll notice is that this is kind of like a recursive function, I think you would call it. We're taking high airports, the object high airports, because it's already been filtered, and we're arranging it, and then we're storing it in high airports as well. So it's taking high airports, storing it in high airports. So it will take this filtered object, this filtered high airports, and it will sort it and then save it, overwrite the old high airports with the sorted high airports. So if you look over here, we won't make a new object when we run that. But we can look at it now, and we can see that it has in fact been sorted from the highest altitude to the lowest altitude up in Texas Telluride. Not Texas. What am I saying? It's in Telluride, Colorado, of course. Okay, so now that we've done that, we are going to actually try to get this high airports out of R and into a CSV so that we could look at it in Excel or something. So to do that, we use the write.csv function. Now this function works similarly. We're going to the arrange function where we're going to put our data set here, and then you can just put comma, file equals, and you can name it whatever you want. We're going to name it airports above 5,000 feet. Notice that when you're writing a CSV, everything can be in quotes and you can have spaces again because you're going outside of the R environment. So I'm going to run that and it's going to write that. And you can see over in files in the bottom row that, look, airports above 5,000 feet.csv just appeared. So I can view file, and it is pretty much just what we started with. It is a CSV file all the way back there. I can also bring up my old R workshop file, and you can see, oh, there's a CSV here. And now that will just open up in Excel, because Excel is probably your default program for opening up CSVs. And then here it goes. Telluride, it's arranged just like how we had it. It's only the ones over 5,000 feet, and it is in Excel now. So you can do whatever you want to with it from here. So that's how you can get something out of R. It's that write.csv thing is your most common way to get it out. And then you can manipulate it however you want in Excel. So thank you for watching this series, and the next video will be on some visualizations.